Hey guys, Ryan, Purple's Mover, back again with another Hearthstone deck preview video from the new expansion. And today we are looking at Boar Priest, something that was a little under our radar going into the expansion, but ended up being probably one of the best versions of Priest. I'm also a big fan of the Quest Reno Priest that's going around right now, still trying to fine tune the deck, but this Boar Priest deck is surprisingly good. So even though the Boar Priest did lose some cards, notably Raise the Dead, it is very good, and this is primarily due just to the sheer amount of draw that the deck has now and the amount of aggro you are seeing on ladder. So with that, this deck is very good at constantly clearing the board, drawing through your whole deck, and getting out your boar combo. And this is something that some people might think is a meme deck, but trust me when I say this deck is still extremely good. So once again, I asked Alec if he'd be so kind to send me some gameplay of him playing the deck at High Legend and showing me how the deck kind of plays and really how powerful it can be. So this is quite a bit into the first game he sent me, but as you can see, he's just kind of insanely drawn through his whole deck, pretty much no cards in that deck on turn 8. And even though he's versing, once again, kind of a ramp druid, he's going to be able to fully clear the board here with the mechanics that this deck has, which is pretty insane. And notably, there are some new cards in the deck. That 0 mana legendary does manage to put in some work refreshing your mana crystals, allowing for some insane churns. One pretty notable thing about the deck is that it is not an easy deck to pilot. It is not something that you're just going to play things on curve. The combo isn't absolutely clear. I mean, it's pretty obvious what you're doing. You're just killing boars and then getting the sword and winning games, but how you get to that point can be pretty difficult. Here in this first game, you see it's just the sheer amount of draw this deck can do that you're able to get through these amulets, respawn your boars, and it's not really an issue that you no longer have Raised Dead, because you're just going to get through your whole deck. And as you can see in this first game, once you actually finish the task of killing all these boars, it is a pretty simple win. Really not much your opponent can do. Not a lot of counterplay at this point of the game. Moving into the second game, as you can see here, it is turn 9, but he has essentially no deck left. And he's actually going to be able to finish this boar killing task all the way on turn 9, get the sword, and once you get the sword, it is pretty hard to come back for your opponent. This deck just has so much draw that you're almost always going to be able to get this kind of thing off. And it is absolutely insane. And even though he versed a druid that actually had a pretty good game in terms of ramping out things, it was not enough. And one notable thing from Alec's time playing the deck, Druid wasn't a matchup that he particularly liked. He thinks this deck would do much better into aggro lists because it has a bunch of clear, a ton of heal, but also clearly it would do very well into decks like Control Warrior, where they don't really have a true win condition. They're really just trying to out-survive their opponent. There really is not out-surviving this Priest deck. That's not really a possibility. And after one last clear into the Druid, only on 1 mana, really nothing he's going to be able to do. And moving on to the last game, once again, quite a bit into the game again, but just absolutely managing to draw through his entire deck once again, keeping the board cleared into this Naga Shaman. Pretty aggro deck he was versing here, but it ended up not really mattering. Just being able to constantly clear the board, draw so many cards with the list, and get off his combo extremely early. And once again, once you finish the combo, it is pretty much guaranteed to be over. So once again, in similar fashion to our Naga Mage deck, we think this deck will see some play in the foreseeable future of the meta, while crafting boars isn't necessarily something that you're probably thrilled about, if you're a priest fan, this is definitely a deck you want to look into. Some of the other priest versions are doing pretty well right now, but they're slightly less consistent than this list. And into the current meta, this boar priest seems to be a very high meta deck, so definitely check it out. If you need help piloting it, leave a comment down below. We'll maybe make a video on it if that interests enough people. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching and have a good rest of your day. Hope you're enjoying the Hearthstone expansion as much as I am. Peace out, guys.